Hello everyone, welcome in. Hi, I am Chef Jay Tay, happy to see you back. No, I am not Chef JJ, I am Chef Jay Tay. Hi Soph, welcome in Mimic. Hi there Will. Oh hey, the camera's working. Nice. The GoPro is back alive. And dad joke, that is a horrible Minecraft joke. Not that all leather, not that it all has to be Minecraft, but my mind just goes there. So we're doing apple pie tonight. Gonna be doing apple pie, gonna be doing pork chop, gonna be doing roasted taters, and broccoli. I'm thinking doing harissa broccoli, seasoned taters roasted in the oven. We'll do the pan, just do a pan seared. It's got a long bone on it, but it's just a single chop. And I got pork stock from before. We'll reduce that down for delicious sauce for all of this. But before all of that, we're going to make a nice apple pie. I'm going to take some time, cut the apples all by hand, do the dough, all that good stuff. Let's make sure my water hasn't dropped too much in temp while I've been waiting here. I'm going to try and do a lattice top apple pie. I've done that before. The last time I did a lattice top apple pie, I thought it turned out looking very underfilled. Hi, Splits. This camera angle's got me thinking it looks a little bit like angle camera. I can tell you, I have learned actually quite a bit about my stream from trying to teach ML to understand my stream. I talked about this a little bit last stream. I'm currently working on trying to get a analysis of all of my past streams done by my computer during after hours. And I'm currently working on the very basics of ML, of it recognizing, okay, this is this camera scene with this camera here and that camera there, and this is there and that's there. Like, I can get all the fun, cool stuff already online from, like, Google as far as, like, you know, what things are in the actual scene. But it can't tell that there's multiple camera shots in a scene. It can't tell where they are. can tell which ones are which. It sounds complicated, but it's really more or less me sitting there flicking through, I don't know, I've done over 400 at this point, different frames, still frames of past streams, and saying, okay, this is that scene with that and that and that. And we're now getting to the point where I'm letting it guess and I'm saying whether it's right or not, so it saves me time if it's right. Most of the time it's wrong. But if you can imagine, I've been doing this for a couple of years now. And so I've got all of them recorded. And so, like, I'm starting out with the obvious thing being recipes and what I have done and how I have done it and with what products, yada yada. It's going to get to the point where, you know, like, it'll be able to tell more accurately what I did than I saying that was a cup, and could potentially do all sorts of other things over greater time. That is, if the AI crash doesn't, you know, destroy the internet. Any silver hands in chat? Hi, Name Reader. I say silver hands instead of diamond hands because, like, gold and heavy metals have been, like, skyrocketing with what our government's doing. And one of the greatest trades there has been silver because of the tariffs. I don't understand it. I've just heard reporters constantly talk about the silver trade. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I hope you've had a lovely week. Cheers. Hello, Evangeline. Let's make some dough. Let's wait on the butter. Let's get everything else first. Mine. Let's see here. Sugar, salt, flour, salt. We got sugar, salt, flour, butter, and water. Let's do water first. Where are the fresh apples? Oh, I'm too zoomed in. That was the wrong button to really push. I gotta use the mouse to change that. Oh, we got apples. I'm going tart. I've got Pink Ladies and Granny Smiths. Why is that? Beasing the audience? You can use a food processor for this if you want. That's actually, was it Maine? I forget, one of the state foods is sharp cheddar covered apple pie. We talked about that, like, not too long ago. I say not too long ago, it was probably months. Okay. Now we're looking pretty good there for this. You can obviously get things much finer, but I almost don't like them as fine as you can get them with Vermont. Vermont sounds, yeah. Vermont sounds like a winner there. They love their cheddar. Okay, I'm happy with that right there, so I'm going to let that rest as that, but we're gonna just get some plastic wrap over the top of it and throw it in the fridge. I'm doing this a little bit differently in that I'm not sitting here and rolling it flat into a sheet at this point. I'm leaving it a little bit more looser than most recipes. Most recipes you have a preformed like disc at this point that you can firmly wrap in plastic wrap rather than a loose dough in the bowl. But it is sticking together nicely. I think it's going to make a nice crust once we do roll it. So, plastic wrap and in the fridge. Let's see how we looking here, pork. You starting to loosen up? Nice. Okay, so you're feeling defrosty. Eh. Clean my hands after that though, because the bag most certainly isn't clean. Finished cleaning up this pan I was using to frost the pork in. And do we get started with the apples? Yeah, I think we get into the apples here next. I got the pork out here getting nice and room temp. That's perfectly fine. I mean, it was near frozen. It's still near refrigerated temp at least. We're gonna need that again, but I'm getting it out of the way for now. A little worried how bruised these Granny Smiths are. They all seem to have a bunch of fresh bruises to them, in that they're not quite discolored or anything, but they're still there. Ah, quit cutting the apple and start peeling. Oh, there's got to be a few of them splits. Smith's pretty common surname. I wouldn't ask anyone to reveal their last name, though. Gonna add a little water and a little lemon juice here. Hello. Welcome, Wolf. So satisfying to get that all off in one cut. Yeah, definitely not using that canned pie stuff that I've been having canned pie filling as one of the cans in the challenge. Well, it has been. I don't know if it is right now or not. And the canned apples are just not. Like, they're too uniform? I don't know. Like, there's nothing drastically wrong with them other than they're very obviously full of cheaper sugars like corn syrup. I don't know why I couldn't remember corn syrup, but other than that, like, I've had, like, I would say most like donut filling, like pre-made fillings that I've had from like donut shops are better than the fillings that I have had from these cans in the Can It Be Delicious challenge. What type of apples? I'm using Pink Ladies and Granny Smiths. So we're going tart. I'm a fan of tart, especially in desserts, because you can add sugar. You add sugar to something that's already sweet, it's not very exciting. You add sugar to something tart and makes your mouth go, what was that? Entirely different thing. I'm not worrying about that little bit of skin. There's a little bit of water and lemon juice if anyone's just tuning in. Ooh, cat dad jokes. That's got to be a whole new level of popularity in audience. I actually don't know. Are we a cat audience or are we a dog audience? Or are we a both audience or as I've said before many times, I'm allergic to both, so they're both cute, but I have no interest in really getting to know them because they just make me sneeze and itch, and if I rub my eyes start tearing up. So I see one vote for both. I one vote for cats. I still think social media is trying to get me to get a cat. Like, no matter where I go. And because I'm talking about it on stream, it's going to be even worse now. Needy and loud, huh? Reminds me of a few people amongst animals. Then again, dogs don't take all-day trips to educational centers. 2 more to go. Non-cooperative. And for our 7th apple. sitting here thinking, if I were doing this, with kids around or with more of a family to cook for or something, I've been throwing out these peels, but I'd want something to use these peels with for, like, turn them into some sort of, like, candy, or I wouldn't dry them because the skins don't dry very well, but maybe turn them into ice cream. Puree them into ice cream. Something like that. You have any Age of Empires players in chat? Bringing up Armitage brings up Age of Empires in my mind. I haven't seen really anything or heard really anything about the newest one, and I was just curious if anyone's in love with the newest one. If they've done great things to make it worth a new version. Okay, in the fridge while we work with dough again. Start preheating our oven. I wiped down the counter here, but I'm going to give it a second to dry off before we get into that I'm gonna take a coffee break. I haven't hit up the coffee much today. Hi, Penta. BioShock. Now, I know of BioShock, but I don't think I have seen anything of BioShock. Like, I know it exists. That's about the limit of my knowledge of BioShock. So now I'm sort of compressing it into disc-like form with my hands. That was mostly to try and get it out here in one piece, but that didn't succeed. You're not on. Are you even working tonight? Oh, you're back to a solid light. I was worried the battery died in Mr. Wiggles. Mr. Wiggles being my first panning camera. It was blinking like it was constantly charging the other day. But it seems to have recovered. Oh, yeah, it is sort of working. There we go. This is going to take a little rolling out in order to get to form into somewhat of a sheet. And it's sticking to the roller too much. But I don't want to add more raw flour into it at this point. Where are you, there you are, my bench scraper. Back in your proper place. How unusual. I'm giving in. We're adding flour. Good pinch. I put more than most people probably would have. Did you hear how cold it was in Saskatchewan today? No, I keep hearing things about this massive winter storm, but like I'm not actually feeling the effects myself, so like I've seen photos of this giant what is it? Low pressure front? High pressure? I don't know. Coming down from the north. Negative 47 in the one place I seen with a wind chill of negative 57. Yeah, no thanks. I can live without that. Like maybe once for an experience to know what it's like. But like, yeah, no, not even that. I'm okay without ever experiencing that. Spoken like a true Midwesterner. I've seen photos of Minneapolis today too, but for other reasons. So we'll get this rolled out to, we're doing both the lattice and the pie crust. I'm going to do one more fold on this whole batch. And then we'll roll it out and do a final rollout. Did I start the oven heating? Yeah, okay. Yeah, but the apple pie ain't gonna be ready by the time I'm done with the pork chops. Pork chop, singular. latest I've read from our government as far as health is they're trying to get everyone to eat pork now too. Comparing pork to soybeans in some article I was seeing recently, it was like, yeah, those two demographics I don't think there's a ton of. You're requesting a Belgian cuisine? Hi, Alex. Oven at 350. All right, so we got a nice cover on the outside here, all the way around. Now let's figure out this. Okay, back to apples, because we need our filling. Hey, Jana. So we need to add sugar. We need to add and like with the salt earlier, we're going to be highly precise with how much sugar we add in here too. Cardamom and cinnamon. Touch of vanilla. Yes, nutmeg is in the plans. I just didn't get around to grating that just yet. I need to buy more nutmeg. Down to my last 2 nuts. Down to 1. And now in. No caramel base on these. I've done apple pies with like a caramel base underneath them. Those are pretty sinful. Going a little more traditional now. I mean, oftentimes I'll pre-cook my apples too, just to be easy about it. Took back 12 bottles at once today at the market. I don't know, does everyone else have like... I don't assume everyone uses it, but does everyone else have glass bottle milk around? I know you Canadians like it in a bag. Reduce that down a little bit. I don't have a problem with milk in a bag unless someone cuts it the wrong size. Hearing something coming off of my speakers and back. Or maybe it's my neighbor. No, it sounded like it might be my neighbor. Now we're gonna sort of meld them all together at the ends. Break off any excess. Double check my folding here. Yeah, the ones that I buy have, well, if you buy the milk, I don't do, it's not in the half and half. But if you buy the milk, they have heavy cream they put at the very top of it, or double cream they put at the very top of it, that helps seal it, preserves it better. I was asking because, I mean, I know not many people do it because of the price. They can't get over the deposit. In my case, it's now $3 a bottle on the deposit. But I get $3 back when I return them. And so it looks like it's more expensive on a lot of shelves than it is. As long as you return them. Alright, so now we got these all sort of pinched together. Now we're going to try and make them a little prettier by pleating. Ooh, ad break. So there we go. There is our apple pie with a little bit of scrap dough. Oh, oops. Well, guess we're not adding that now. Oops. Burnt it. Mmm, smoky. Make sure we got some hot water going here. The smell of burnt sugar. Pan and parchment for our bacon. No, I'm not making bacon. I mean for baking. Sorry to get the bacon lovers excited. Ooh. Hi, Tabaroo. Thank you for the raid. Welcome in, everyone. Hi, I'm Chef Jay Tay. Happy to see ya. How we doing tonight? What's new? What's happening? Where were we coming from? What were we doing tonight, Tabaroo? Or one of your lovely community members? Thank you for sharing the community. Hopefully you're all having a lovely evening. I'm making some apple pie. I'm just about ready to throw it in the oven there. You got me just as I was going to throw it in the oven. If you're new into chat, we have a word scramble going on all the time. All food related or food industry or really loosely. I mean, 2,600 words at this point. Curry-filled melon pan. That's a very interesting combination of words. Love me some curry. Don't make it a lot, but love me some curry. Filled in melon pan? That's what's really throwing me off on that one. Is it a pan that's shaped like a melon? Or are we making a pan out of a melon? Or is it a really smart pan? A Japanese bun shaped like a melon. Awesome. I'm with you, Kenji. I avoid a lot of coconut stuff. I'm not 100% that I'm allergic to it. Like, I've never had a test saying that you can't, but I've never had good time with coconut in my life. What kind of apples did you use for the pie? I used a combination of Pink Lady and Granny Smith's. So, tartar apples, as I was explaining earlier, I like tartar apples for baked goods and stuff like that. I mean, you can add sugar to them. If something's just sweet, it's just already sweet. All right, so we'll move this into the oven, and we'll get working on some other things here. And I'm guessing it's going to take about 45 minutes for that. It's not going to be immediate. As much as I would love to have a fresh one ready to go to pull out of the oven like it's a TV show, be like, here you go, it's done. It doesn't work real life. What'd you get on your pizza? All right, we're taking a little cleanup time here. We're getting rid of all this flour. We're putting away the grater that I use for nutmeg. Coffee break. Sweet and mildly spicy. What all did you put into your curry that you were putting into the pan? Do I want to try that on the fly tonight? Pondering how I want to do my broccoli and debating changing it last second here. Almost went and tossed that. We're saving that tonight. Chopping it all down pretty fine tonight. Still trying to somewhat keep the structure, but small pieces of broccoli tonight. This is a broccoli rice recipe. Except not like... Do they call it broccoli? There's probably people that call it broccoli rice because they do that with cauliflower. I was just kidding. saying that, but I take that back because it's probably actually a thing. Everyone's got their couple things that just don't fly. Ewan, got anything special planned for the weekend? I know this is sort of like recovery time from the holidays still. Or if you're a content creator, it's vacation time until March. Thank you for the follow. Seems a little cool for, well, then it is chowder season at the same time. I don't know clam harvesting season. I know we got to be in the ballpark. And I know it's probably heavily dependent on where you're getting your clams and what type of clams they are. I should get these potatoes in the oven too. Sacco taters. Now infamous on stream. If the last tater ever wants to get out of the sack. Oh, I forgot to knock this over. Cooking oil. I gotta buy more of that. Running low on cooking oil. All types. I gotta get more frying oil too. That oil that I used last time was pretty well done for. Salt, MSG, pepper, what kind of oil do I use for deep frying? I change it up. Deep frying oil, I like some people are diehards for specific oils for frying, and certain things maybe, but in general, I just go with what, not necessarily cheapest, but I don't really know my 100% determination on what I go for there. Garlic. And let's see, let's do smoked paprika. All right, those are going in the oven. Along with the pie. Pie still got another 30 minutes at this point. Probably longer, but we'll see. What you looking at over there, Mr. Wiggles? What you focusing on? You looking at the frog tape? It's the frog face got you entranced. Right now I've just got canola oil. Nope, I want yellow onion. Yeah, accent is a little more general purpose. It's got a variety of things in it. It's not just straight MSG. I use straight from the original source, the company that originally introduced it to our world. Just straight monosodium glutamate. This is a Japanese brand. Oh, taking one more layer off on this one. Actually, we'll probably cut into this one for tonight, and the other one we're going to save for I don't know what. last of my cooking oil. Little avocado oil to add to it. All sorts of stuff can do that, Pentode. And all sorts of minor allergies can do that too. And they change over your lifetime too. Like, more people tend to become more dairy intolerant as they get older. And that's very common there too. But my dad has that too. Like, he'll go out to eat places and his nose just starts running. It doesn't really matter what he's eating. His nose just goes. The truth is things are way more complex, and we keep trying to simplify them when they're more complex. And like, we're now discovering that Alzheimer's is most likely a dietary thing, where it's caused by your gut bacteria. And there's all sorts of potentials as far as what Alzheimer's is, but there are so many things that just point to your gut bacteria. And it is so complex and so many different things that, like, we don't really know it. We know it. We know what a large part of it, but we don't know it. And I sort of feel like it's probably something that's going to take us having a supercomputer on our watch or on a ring, or by modern standards, a supercomputer, in order to track just your own. Like, but that's often, fantasy land. That ain't happening. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Like, just dementia as a whole, just taking out Alzheimer's, like, dementia as a whole is just so complex. Like, I don't want to diminish how great our scientists and doctors are at this point in the world, in all that. Like, what I'm saying right now is not meant to poo-poo on their efforts, but we don't know shit. We're a step above the plague. Like, I mean, did you see what happened during COVID? So we're going to reduce stock down over here. That's still semi-frozen. But this is the pork stock I made when I butchered the pig. Or rather, when I, thank you for the follow, rather when I butchered the half pig. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of quotes and stuff along that line that are just hilarious. The initial Today Show first experience of email, that one's a meme that goes around all the time. Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of broken record saying the same one over, but you know, like, how many of us were told you weren't going to have a calculator in your pocket when you're an adult? Much less a cell phone or an LLM. Now we live in a world where Boeing's making airplane engines so that we can power our computers. At least I think it's a Boeing. Is it Boeing or... Well, they're all probably in the game, whether it's Pratt & Whitney or GE or Boeing or... But all of these data centers, they're making contracts with nuclear power plants to sustain their computing power. But that's going to be like 20 years down the... 5 years down the road, 10, 20 years down the road. And right now they're all powering themselves with giant jet engines. I was like... That's why you hear people in the South complaining about all of the toxic fumes and how, you know, water corruption and everything. They're sitting there burning jet engines 24/7 to run computers. While playing Ring Around the Rosie with the money. And I've gotten ahead of myself with the broccoli again. We got about 10 minutes or so to kill in this before we want to finish this broccoli. Of course, in the 1940s, that predated World War II stuff. And what really got them going... And now we got quantum computers to hack the regular computers. You're really trying to get us to hate your wife, aren't you, Kenji? Of course, there's more than one way to take that sentence. I think we're going to take a little bit of a break here. We got things baking in the oven, but we're a little premature for throwing our pork chop on the stove, and we got to reduce down our stock a bit more. That might work better back here, though. That might work better back here. More surface area. Trying to reduce it down quicker. We'll go back to that pan after it reduces down a bit. Hi, Dragon. That wasn't the button I wanted. That was the button I wanted. There we go. So we got broccoli and onion here lightly sauteed. We're going to finish sauteing this up and then add the other broccoli to it, and then we're going to come coat the entire thing in a whole bunch of garlic and harissa. So chopped harissa broccoli with onion, and then we'll have our roasted taters, and we'll have our pork chop and some lovely sauce reducing. Two things I can't figure out about data centers is why they have nearby residents haven't increased. The water usage is because they're using massive amounts of water to cool them, and cooling causes evaporation. You can have a closed loop all day and talk about how much water you're saving. Water causes heat dissipation causes evaporation. And so they're using tons and tons and tons of water to cool these. And the increased electric bills is because they're using all of the electricity. They're putting them in all of the cheapest places they can find electricity, and then using more electricity than they can get. You have these centers in Wyoming, the ones they're building are going to consume more power than an entire state. The figures are quite redonkulous. And pretty much all over, I feel like we're pretty much everywhere min-maxing our grid. Like, it isn't just the cheap states that are doing this. We've got other ones in all of the states pushing our grids. So spin around. Probably dealing with the kiddos or something. Yeah, so we're going to take a 10-minute breather here. We'll come back. We'll take a look at our apple pie and see if our apple pie is ready to come out of the oven at that point. We'll start going on pork and everything else. But I will see all of your lovely faces back here in about 10 minutes.
Hello, may I come in? I am Chef Boyardee. Perhaps you have seen my picture on Chef Boyardee products at your grocer's. Today I want to tell you about a wonderful dinner for three. A dinner that only costs about 15 cents a serving. It's my own Chef Boyardee spaghetti dinner with meat sauce or mushroom sauce. It all comes in one carton. A full half pound of tender, quick cooking spaghetti, 10 full ounces of rich, tasty sauce, and to top it off, a whole can of zippy grated cheese. A wonderful food. So ask your grocer for Chef Boyardee spaghetti dinner with meat or mushroom sauce, won't you? And look for other Chef Boyardee's products. They're also delicious, they're also nourishing, and they help keep the cost of your meals down. Chef Boyardee's products are at best grocers.
Ask for Chef Boyardee's spaghetti dinner. Only about 15 cents a serving.
3, 2, 1, blast off. She's up. Come in ideal countdown control. Ready for second launching.
Atlas moving into position.
Fuel her up.
All set.
Countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! There she goes!
Yes, you can be in command of your own ideal countdown. It's a real electronic missile base. You sit at the controls and move missiles into place. You count down. You blast off. You track the flight. The ideal countdown comes complete with moon missile and lunar probe, as well as a giant atlas. Get your electronic ideal countdown now, wherever good toys are sold.
It's a wonderful toy. It's ideal. Daddy! Gee, Mom was counting on that Jell-O cake for Johnny's Scout meeting tomorrow. Okay, Daddy. It's so easy to make a cake with Betty Crocker cake mix. I'll make her another one. White cake, devil's food, yellow cake.
It's a good thing her mom's modern. I'm Betty Crocker. With my yellow cake mix, all you do is add water and a couple of fresh eggs. The other ingredients are in the package. Same fine things you'd use right in your own home. You'll get a perfect cake just like this, or write General Mills, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they'll send your money back. A high cake, a light cake, a better tasting cake.
And don't think it isn't. That's why Betty Crocker herself says,
I guarantee a perfect cake every time you bake, cake after cake after cake.
Coke time is anytime, anywhere. It's always time for ice-cold Coca-Cola.
May I sing to you? May I sing to you? Won't you listen to a song that's in my heart?
The Coca-Cola Company presents Coke Time with Fred Robbins, tonight's guest, Diane Carroll, and starring Eddie Fisher.
Bring back the thrill of the love that we shared when you cared, when hand in hand I thought only you'd understand. Bring back the thrill of the wonderful life that we planned. Only we two, never lonely when I was with you. For we loved and we laughed in the sun, and the time that we spent was such fun. But I never thought we could part when I gave you my heart. So long.
Schmidt's Blue Ribbon Bread gives you 7 ounces of non-fat milk solids in every loaf, the equal of 90 quarts a year if you serve it regularly. Every sandwich you make, every snack, gives you extra milk. For wonderful flavor combined with sound food values, serve Schmidt's Blue Ribbon Bread in the pantry pack.
If you're a student, a mother active in club work, a man who brings work home from the office, this was made for you. The Remington Office Writer, a new kind of portable designed to give you the extra features you need. King-size carriage, so long it can handle a sheet of school notebook paper lengthwise. Look, the Office Writer types nearly the full 11-inch length of the paper, the only portable it can. The Office Writer types up to 10 carbons, so that even the very last copy is easy to read. Cut clear, clean stencils unlike any ordinary portable. See the exciting new Remington Office Writer at your dealers. The price only $149.50, carrying case at slight additional cost. Available after a small down payment for only $1.50 a week. Terms payable monthly, including taxes and a small carrying charge.
Folks, why do you eat Wheaties?
We like it.
But did you know it's always been whole wheat with all the bran, and bran is one of nature's best sources of food fiber.
That's news to us.
Wheaties breakfast this morning?
Sure, it helps me feel fit.
But do you know Wheaties has bran fiber your body may need?
That's news to me.
Why Wheaties?
Oh, we love the taste.
I have for years. But do you know for years you've been getting something extra for your diet? Bran fiber?
Well, that's news to me.
Wheaties. It's brand news.
There's no other box of facial tissues like this. Scotty's new Magic Oval box. Only Scotty's give you tissues that float up gently, one at a time, and come out in neat handfuls, too, because there's a Magic Oval inside every new Scotty's box. Only Scotty's Magic Oval can give you tissues that float up, smooth and easy. No tugging, no tearing, no extra tissues tagging along. And Scotty's Magic Oval does even more. It lets you reach in for tissues by the handful, all neatly folded, just right for pocket or purse. Scotty's new Magic Oval box is pretty, too. And inside, soft, strong, sneeze-proof Scotty's. Remember, for tissues that float up smoothly and come out in neatly folded handfuls, look for Scotty's pretty new Magic Oval box, the only one of its kind.
Well, no wonder my laundry bill is so high. All those napkins last week.
Doeskin.
What?
You should use Doeskin dinner napkins.
Paper napkins? Oh, no.
I don't mean thin little paper napkins, but Doeskin dinner napkins. You'll love them.
Everybody loves Doeskin dinner napkins. These soft linen-like napkins are 2-ply in smart formal fold, in white and in beautiful pastel colors. And Doeskin dinner napkins are big. They cover your whole lap, and they stay put. What's more, they last throughout the meal, and they leave no lint.
But they are nice. And they would save my linen.
They save you money, too. Doeskin dinner napkins cost only 49 cents for 5 dozen. That's a fraction of a penny apiece.
All right, Dottie.
You'll find Doeskin dinner napkins, Doeskin facial tissues, and other Doeskin products at your favorite...
Welcome back. Is that working? Nope, that's not working either. There we go. Welcome back. Mic's working. Music's working. Cool. Okay. Let's take a look at our pie. That looks like a pie. I think we're going to keep going with that a little bit longer. Give that another 5 minutes. Part of it, Pento... We already were sort of doing this before the data centers and AI and OpenAI made this such of a open and knowledgeable subject. Like, there's studies showing that essentially Google has been doing this all along. It's just, it's been, at the front edge all the way along. And so they're just pumping tons of water into their systems. They're pumping tons of electricity into their systems. Like, I don't think the energy use for a basic LLM, I'm not talking the paid full-blown ones, I'm talking basic and search engine, especially considering most search engines pull an LLM on top of it anyways these days. I don't think there's a huge energy difference there. You start getting into serious thinking and agents and stuff like that, where you're saying, think about it some more, and think about it some more, and think about it some more to it. That's not the same thing as what I'm saying there. Let's dry off this pork. They still haven't explained Stargate. Yeah, it was sort of fun. A lot of them are mildly inappropriate, but appropriate for their time, so, like... Hopefully I can squeeze that into the pan. I like using this one for the long bone sears because it's the shallowest of my searing pans. I don't have a nice, real flat pan for using for that. Let's take a look at our pie. Let's give it a out of the oven look-see. I still want to give that longer. I'm going to give that another 10 minutes. which means our dinner's probably going to be ready before our pie is out of the oven, or approaching that. Back to our pork. We'll give this some salt. We'll give a pan of spray down. Wait till we get this back to smoky. There's Soph. Just in time for ads. It is top of the hour. Dad joke, I think that joke could be improved. Be more aged about it. You know, one time I made a suit. I'm thinking entirely of moss. I didn't like it originally, but it sort of grew on me. Into the oven. Well, we're going to take these taters out first. Salt in with the stock. We'll do a little starch. Make a little oobleck. You'll work for this. More. Heat off on that now. I think we need to go more with that. I'm going to thicken that a bit more. I know I have a tendency to over thicken, and I don't mind the sauce is a little thicker and gravy is a little thicker, but yeah. That looks lovely. Once that cools down, thickens a little bit, we'll add mix in some butter with that. What I didn't show you yet were our lovely roasty toasties, potatoes. With some nice color on the bottoms. Come on, I saw some nice color here. Where's all the nice color going? All right, back to broccoli. Full flame with our onions and broccoli stems. Garlic powder. Bit of dried harissa spice. Touch more oil. I got better shit to do. Hi, Gaia. Trying to get some color here. It's a little hard when I started ahead like I did. Yes, we have apple pie coming out of the oven here. I should actually take that out of the oven now. Sort of light on the finish. I was hoping to get some more color on the crust. I didn't egg wash it. All right, now that we got all that lovely going, we're going to go ahead and add in all of this. That being harissa. And we're going to use that steam with all that. That's already quieting down, so we need some more water in there. Low flame underneath this just to keep the butter from being a complete ice cube to our broth or our gravy. Heat back off on this. Heat off on that. And I think it's plating time. We're gonna mix up our beautiful broccoli with the rest of that spice. Sentient, I tell you. It's sentient. I'm not even using an LLM for the jokes. It's off an API. I have so far. Hopefully you have as well, Gaia. Wish everyone a happy new year. No, we're just going to go with the gravy as is. That's some great flavor to add in there, though. It has certainly been a rough one for some of that stuff. Let's get a photo of that beautiful plate. I cooked with my phone in my pocket. I never cook with my phone in my pocket. Nope, we need to come this way. So there we go with that. And I agree, that dinner turned out looking gorgeous. Especially not sure what I was doing with the broccoli. I was not anticipating using harissa going into this today. Potatoes are looking gorgeous. Beautiful sear on that pork. And that apple pie didn't turn out looking too horrible either. I'm still not sure it's what I would consider my best effort as far as a pie. I sort of want to let it sit and maybe like soak up the juice and maybe give it a second hit in the oven to blast up the edges of this a bit more. Alternatively, could do an egg wash over the whole thing. But I actually think that's what I might do. I might let this sit an hour or two and then give it a quick blast in the oven before I go to sleep. If I do, I will post photos. Well, I'll post photos either way of what the pie ends up like, and there will obviously be photos of this wonderful dish in the Discord a bit later. As soon as I get settled, finish my eating, watch a few videos. I don't know, Gaia, I burnt things today. It's been a minute since I've done that, but yeah. Let's see here. I think this is where we're going to leave things for this fine evening. I wish you all a wonderful weekend. Let's see who's out there in Twitch land tonight. I think we're just going to leave it there for tonight. Let's see, what do we got coming up here in the next week? What do we got coming up Sunday, Monday? Sunday, gonna be trying my own version on homemade doner and flatbread. It's looking like a fun experiment. I haven't tried doing it at least this way in the past. I've done some other similar dishes like this in the past, but gonna be doing tomato butter with it. Going to be doing roasted tomatoes and roasted peppers along with actual lamb for our meat, and making fresh flatbread. Won't be lavash, but it'll be, you know, somewhere in the ballpark. So that is Sunday. Monday we've got the quiche. Monday's lighter nights. Going to be doing a shredded potato quiche on Monday night. Thinking peppers, onions, and maybe some sausage in there. I don't know. I think that's what I put in the description for the day. And then we got the ingredient challenge, where Cherry Cola is in a strong lead against its competition. But if you'd like to have a say in next Wednesday's ingredient challenge, or submit some other ingredients, you can join in the Discord. I hope to see y'all back here Sunday for doner and flatbread. I wish you all a lovely weekend. Good night.